In every love story, there's a promise, till death do us part. But in the case of Laura Bennett, that promise took on a horrifying new meaning. In the quiet town of Cedar Falls, Ohio, Laura Bennett lived what most would call an ordinary life. A modest home, a loving husband, and dreams built on the kind of love stories people envied. Her husband, Mark, was the dependable one, kind, soft-spoken, and the type of man who always kissed her goodbye before leaving for work. But one rainy Thursday in 2012 changed everything. Mark had left for a short business trip, promising he'd be back in 2 days. That promise was never kept. His car was found abandoned by a bridge miles from home. Inside were his wallet, his phone, and his wedding ring, left neatly on the seat, almost as if he'd wanted to disappear without leaving a trace. Police searched for weeks. They dragged the river, checked hospitals, interviewed friends, and followed every lead, but Mark Bennett had vanished into thin air. Eventually, the search was called off. Authorities concluded he had likely taken his own life. Laura, shattered and numb, could only cling to that explanation, because anything else was too painful to imagine. Months turned into years. Laura buried herself in work, running the small bakery they'd once dreamed of opening together. People in town admired her strength, not knowing that every loaf of bread, every morning smile, was a mask hiding the ache of losing the person she loved most. 10 long years passed before her past came knocking again, in the most unimaginable way. It was a quiet morning in 2022 when her phone rang. The voice on the other end introduced himself as Detective Morales from Indiana. His tone was steady, but his words made Laura's knees give way. "Mrs. Bennett," he said carefully, "we believe your husband is alive." The world around her went silent. For a moment, she couldn't breathe. It had to be a mistake, some kind of cruel prank. But the detective continued. A man matching Mark's description had been found in a suburban basement. He was malnourished, disoriented, but alive. The homeowner, a woman named Erica Walters, was dead. Laura didn't understand. How could Mark be alive? Why had he never come home? And who was Erica Walters? The story unraveled piece by piece. Erica was a 42-year-old woman living in Bloomington, Indiana. Neighbors had reported a foul smell coming from her house. When police entered, they found her body at the bottom of the basement stairs, and behind a locked door nearby, a man who refused to say his name. When his fingerprints came back, there was no doubt. It was Mark Bennett. The man Laura had mourned for a decade hadn't died. He had simply started a new life. Investigators soon discovered that after faking his death, Mark had moved across state lines under a new identity, David West. He'd met Erica on a dating site not long after his disappearance, claiming to be a widower. Together, they built a quiet life, but he kept his past hidden.